Let's vibe, let's roll, let's get it. Whoa, shawty showing out, throwing on the dance floor. Fashion killer, huh? You don't give a fuck what a nigga gotta say.
Hey guys, it's Naimahrae and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join the fam because we stay litty over here. And if you're a returning viewer, hi, how are you guys doing on this lovely day? Now, as you guys can tell by the title of this video, it's gonna be part 2 to the last story time that I posted. I felt like I could not post any other videos until I put this part 2 up because I just felt like y'all was gonna like come for me. I've had people in person, like people that I know, like, yeah, where's part 2? You guys have no clue what I'm talking about. Make sure you go watch the first part of this story time or you're gonna be completely lost because I'm literally just gonna pick up right where I left off. It's my last story time on my channel. I will link it up there and down below in the description box for your convenience. Like I said, if you start with this one, you're gonna be lost. So go watch that one first and then come back. I don't want this one to get long like how the other one got long, so let's just go ahead and get into the video. Okay, so at this point, Plant is just like, I don't understand why, like, you don't want to give Mr. Mysterious a shot, really hyping this man up. He just kept saying it and kept pressing it, and I was literally just sitting there, like, literally going back and forth in my head, like, should I tell him, should I not, should I tell him, should I not? And finally I'm just like, bro, it's so obvious. He was like, what are you talking about? I was like, if I even tried anything with Mr. Mysterious, I feel like it would just be trifling. Well, how would it be trifling? Like, I don't understand. I was like, Plant, it's so obvious at this point. I'm surprised you don't know. I was like, you want me to just tell you like the real reason? And he's like, no, don't tell me. If you tell me, I'm gonna be upset. I'm gonna figure it out on my own. Da, 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 da. That's what he's saying, right? And I'm like, okay. I was like, but I'll tell you if you want me to. And he's like, no, I'm gonna talk to our coworkers. I'm gonna see what it is. Because he asked me, he was like, oh, do the people like at our job know? And I was like, most of them, yes. And he was like, okay, I'm gonna ask so-and-so. No, don't ask her because she praying on my downfall. No. He was like, okay, I'm gonna ask Happy. I was like, oh my gosh. And Happy was the one person that I didn't want him to talk to initially because I was like, she know everything. Like, she gonna put me out there for real. I was stressed, y'all. I was stressed because at the end of the day, when it comes to these situations, even though you are nervous, it's always best to handle it yourself. It's always best to handle it yourself. It's gonna be a little awkward, but it's best to handle it yourself because if you let somebody else do it, that's when it just turns into a mess. And what did I do? I let somebody else do it. Fast forward. He comes into work. Mind you, at this point, I had prepped everybody. I was like, don't nobody say a singular soul, syllable, vowel, nothing. Y'all know nothing. I didn't want nobody saying nothing to him because I was like, you know what? He's not gonna find out from nobody up in here. And at some point, he's just gonna be like, okay, Naimah, you just gotta tell me, like, what is it? Right? That's what I'm thinking in my head. I'm talking to Happy. I'm like, Happy, look, girl, like, don't say anything. I'll tell him. Whoa. And at first I was like, no, Happy, like, you can't, like, and she was like, why not? She was like, let's just go ahead and put it out there. Let's get it all on the table, da-da-da-da. I'm like, you know what? You're right. So at this point, I'm like, if anybody's gonna tell him, I'd rather be Happy. She can communicate the situation perfectly because I know this whole story sounds wild from beginning to end, but if I'm being fully transparent, guys, Plant was not boyfriend material. He was not boyfriend material. I'm so sorry if he's watching this, respectfully. He's not boyfriend material. I was just like, you know, he seemed like a good time. He was cute. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let's go outside, have some fun, period. Happy knew that. She knew that that's like the type of time, you know, she knew that's what I was on. I wasn't trying to find my forever person. I'm not trying to get married to this man. Plant comes into work and me and him are doing what we do in the back, flirting and working as per usual. And he's just like, oh, I haven't had the chance to ask anybody so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. And he asked one of my other coworkers. She was like, oh, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, yeah, that's my girl. Period. And then Happy walks in the back. And she looks at him and she's like, oh, I gotta talk to you. And I'm thinking she gonna talk to him later, y'all. No, she stops right what she's doing. She stops what she's doing. And it's like, yeah, so Naimah, and I was like, whoa. And I was like, you know, because I had to grab something that was on the floor anyway. I was like, I'm gonna go get what we need. I'll be back. So I went out there and grabbed what we needed. And when I was coming back, she was still talking to this man. And all I heard him say was, oh, so she just trying to have fun. And I was like, y'all, look. This is why I said sometimes it's best to just have the conversation yourself, even though it might be a little awkward, but whatever. Happy communicated what needed to be communicated. I walked in the back, heard that. I was like, oh, if you guys aren't finished, I can make myself scarce. And she was like, no, I'm done talking to him. That's all I had to say. And she walks away. And then it's just me and him in the back. Everything's kind of resumed, like, as normal, kind of. And he's just like, I was like, so? And he was like, you know, you put me in a really awkward spot, right? I looked at him and I was like, it wasn't intentional. Like, I didn't mean to put you in an awkward spot because now your friend done shot his shot with me. I done shot my shot with you. This is a weird looking, like, y'all know them instrumental triangles that don't fully connect? That's what it was giving. It was a weird ass love triangle. And I was just like, I was gonna shoot my shot, but your friend, Mr. Mysterious, beat me to it. Like, he beat me to it, and I don't know, like, what I'm supposed to do, but now you know, so you could do with that information what you will. He was like, I just feel like I'm in a weird spot. He was like, you know, I'm a really loyal person, and da-da-da-da, which we gonna get to that. I'm a really loyal person. Men just be lying. And I'm just like, okay, well, like, you know, I didn't mean to put you in a weird spot, like, but you know now, like, now you know, like, it is what it is, it's out there. And I could tell, like, throughout the time that we're back there working together, he's just, like, thinking about it. We're still having, like, regular conversation, but, like, he's kind of, like, thinking about it, and he's like, man, I just feel like I'm in, like, such an awkward spot, and blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, I could talk to your friend if you want me to. He was like, no, like, I'll talk to him. I don't know. He was like, would it be better for you to talk to him? I was like, I don't know. He's like, what are you planning to tell him? I was like, that I'm not interested? Like, what do you mean? And he's like, no, like, I know him, like, it'll probably be better for me to talk to him. And I was like, and what exactly are you gonna tell this man? And he was like, I don't know yet, like, I'm gonna have to think on it. And I was like, we worked the rest of the shift, everything literally goes as normal. We're still flirting back and forth, like, it's literally like as it usually is. And I'm just like, damn, my shot really would have went in if Mr. Mysterious didn't come through and just be like, get that out of here. So I'm sick, right? I'm sick about it. And then I start overthinking because, you know, it's not a Naimah story time if Naimah doesn't overthink a little bit up in here. You know what I'm saying? I was about to leave. And I remember I had told him, I was like, look, at some point we need to talk about what Happy told you, because we didn't really get the chance to talk about it like in depth, because everybody that day specifically, everybody seemed like they needed something out the back room. Just kept running back and forth. And the coworker that was praying on my downfall, she came back there and sat. Girl, what you sitting back here for? You are not on break. What you doing? I told him, I was like, look, we need to talk about what Happy told you at some point. He was like, yeah, like, for sure. I was like, okay, cool. I'm about to get off. I think he went on break already and he wasn't hungry, so he didn't get any food, but he wanted some food. And I was like, okay, well, before I leave, I could just go to the food court and get it for you. So while I'm standing at the food court waiting for this man food, of course, Naimah starts overthinking the whole thing. I'm texting Happy about it. I'm like, girl, I don't know what I should do. Like, I haven't had a chance to talk to him, and he keeps talking about his friend and this and the third, and I'm just like, this gonna sound real rude, y'all. This gonna sound real crazy, and I'm so sorry to Mr. Mysterious if he's watching this, but I could give two flying fluttles about your friend. Like, I don't care about your friend. That's your friend. It ain't got nothing to do with me. Me and your friend ain't never dated. I don't see what are you being loyal for? That's what I was thinking in my head, right? I'm like, I don't get it. Like, I really don't get it. But at the time, like I said, I was not aware of how close of a friendship Plant and Mr. Mysterious had. In my head, they're co-workers, and I see them together, but that's what I was thinking in my head. I was like, bro, he's like tripping. Like, why are you this loyal to a co-worker? That's what I'm thinking in my head. I'm like, okay, like, they're work friends. Like, they're close friends. Like, you know, they hang out sometimes, but, like, it's not a big deal. Like, that's what I'm thinking in my head. When I get back from the food court with his food, he's like, oh, thank you so much, da-da-da-da. And I'm like, oh, you're welcome. Like, don't forget to send me the money, whatever, yada, yada. And I look at him, and I was like, you know what? Also, Plant, like, if you're just not interested, I didn't even get to finish my sentence, y'all. I said, if you are just not interested, got cut off. And this man proceeded to say, no, it's not that. It's just like, you know, Mr. Mysterious, and like, I just feel like it just be really weird. Like, you know, if I pop out with you and he just, like, you know, I just feel weird. Like, I feel like I'm in a weird spot. He was like, if you would have done this about like a week or so earlier, it'd be a different story. I want y'all to remember that. I leave or whatever. We're texting throughout the weekend. And at some point I asked him, I was like, so what did you end up telling Mr. Mysterious? Because he said he was going to talk to him. And he said he told him that I was talking to somebody. And in my head, I'm like, why didn't you just tell him I wasn't interested? But whatever, like, if that's what, you know, floats your boat, that's what works, like, cool. So fast forward a little bit. And this is when the story starts getting extremely messy. And I will take accountability for the hand that I had to play in the mess ensuing. I thought I was doing the right thing at the time, but looking back at it, like, I was doing too much. I was doing too much. Because as we all know, okay, you guys watched my story times before. Even if you just watch my channel, Naimah likes to get what she wants. I like to get what I want, okay? I like to get what I want. I'm gonna go after what I want. That's just what I do. That's me. That's who I am as a person. Fast forward a little bit. Mr. Mysterious, like, I don't remember. I posted something on my story, and I think he gave me a compliment. He was like, oh yeah, you look real good, or something. Like, something along those lines, right? I texted Plant immediately, because I said thank you. And then I was like, ... Did Plant talk to you? Like, that's what I had sent him, right? So I texted Plant, like, immediately as soon as that message came through. Hold on, I had to pull up receipts, y'all. I had to pull up receipts. Let me reference. This is what I texted Plant. This verbatim, literally verbatim, when Mr. Mysterious DM'd me. I said, I feel like I'm gonna have to hurt your friend's feelings, and I really wasn't trying to do that. I feel like it sounds a little harsh, but I was meaning it in a way of, I really didn't want to have to be the person to tell him, like, oh, I'm just not interested. Like, I wish that Plant would have just told him in the first place instead of saying that I was talking to somebody, because, like, why didn't you just, oh, bro, like, you know, she's not interested. Like, that's all he had to say. Him saying I'm talking to somebody literally just, to me, made it more complicated. I sent that to Plant. Meanwhile, Mr. Mysterious DMs me back. He's like, oh my gosh, like, you know, I'm sorry if I overstepped. Like, you know, Plant did tell me that you were talking to somebody, yada, yada, right? I take it upon myself, because Naimah, I don't like to lie, guys. I'm not good at lying. I don't like to be put in positions where I have to lie. Like, I didn't even want to fake like I was talking to somebody. I was just like, bro, like, honestly, I'm not talking to somebody. Like, I told him to tell you that. Mind you, I didn't really tell Plant to tell that man that. He came up with that on his own, but I was saving his ass because I wasn't trying to interject in their friendship, because then I didn't want Mr. Mysterious to be like, well, bro, why did you tell me she was talking to somebody? So I was trying to do the right thing. So I'm like, oh, I'm not really talking to somebody. Like, I told him to tell you that. It's just like, I'm not interested because I'm interested in Plant. I know what y'all thinking. Naimah, you did not say that. I did. I definitely did. Now, y'all, look. I know. Looking back at it, it's not one of my finest hours, not one of my smartest choices, but I told y'all I don't like to lie. And I had to put it out there. I had to put the truth out there. Like, Mr. Mysterious takes, like, forever to reply, but he read the message and I saw it. I was like, oh shoot, I done hurt this man's feelings. I was like, oh my gosh. So I'm trying to cover my tracks. So I send another message to Plant and I'm like, look, because he replied, he was like, what do you mean by you gotta hurt his feelings? And I was like, oh, like, he swiped up on one of my stories and I was trying to be polite, but I had to tell him the truth. Like, I couldn't sit here and just keep lying. I was like, I'm sure he'll mention it to you, like, you know, but I was blunt, maybe a little bit too blunt. And he asked me, well, what did Mr. Mysterious say? So at this point, Mr. Mysterious had replied, and Mr. Mysterious was like, oh, okay, like, if that's who you want, like, that's who you want. Like, you can't help, like, who you're attracted to, da-da-da. Like, you want me to put you on, you want me to help you shoot your shot. And I'm thinking in my head, I was like, sure. Little did he know I had already shot my shot. And once again, this is Naimah getting caught up in a freaking lie that I didn't even really want to, because I was just like, bro, like, I can't tell this man, yeah, I already shot my shot with him after you shot your shot with me. Like, that sounds trifling as hell. So I'm just like, y'all, this whole thing is so messy. It's so damn messy. So I'm just like, let me tell Plant what I said so he is aware. So I text Plant and I'm like, oh, this is what he said, and like, I see why you're friends with him, because I found out Mr. Mysterious was actually kind of cool. I was like, okay, like, this guy's cool, whatever. I texted him and I was like, oh, you know, if he mentions to you anything about me shooting my shot, just act like you have no clue what he's talking about. And he's like, well, what are you talking about? Like, I feel like you're being around the bush with me, like, you being honest with everybody but me, right? Y'all, I was being as honest as possible with Plant. He the one who did not want to sit and talk about what Happy told him. It really don't get no more blatantly obvious than what she told him. I wasn't there for the conversation. I kind of regret not being there for the conversation. I should have stood and just waited. But at the end of the day, I asked Happy what she said, and she told that man, like, Naimah's not looking for nothing serious. She just, she just trying to have some fun. She's trying to go outside. She thinks you're cute. She's attracted to you, da-da-da-da. Like, basics, right? So I don't know why he wanted to act like we couldn't be two adults and just talk about it. Whatever. He was like, I feel like you beating around the bush. So I felt like he wasn't understanding anything I was trying to tell him. So I just sent him a screenshot of me and Mr. Mysterious's messages, which at the time, guys, okay, I'm still learning how close Mr. Mysterious and Plant are, which we gonna get there. I sent him the screenshot, and I told him, I was like, I didn't throw you under the bus about you coming up with this whole, oh, she's talking to somebody thing, because I didn't say that, bro. You did, but whatever. I didn't throw you under the bus. And he's like, well, I still feel like you beating around the bush, like you not being honest with me, da-da-da-da. I was like, bro, I like you. Could I have worded that better? Probably. But like, what do you mean I'm beating around the bush? Like, how much more blatantly obvious do I have to make it? I like you. And at this point, I am still his manager. So I'm trying to say what I want to say in a very respectful way. But at the end of the day, I really want to tell this man, look, I'm just trying to have some fun. Like, let's go out. Let's have fun. Keep it. That's it. Keep it P. That's it. That's all I really wanted to say. But I couldn't say that, so I had to, oh, I like you. This man replies, and he's like, I respect you as a coworker, but I don't see us as anything else. I was like, okay, that's all you had to say. Because I had been asking him to have this conversation about what Happy said, and he just kept beating around the bush and avoiding it. And I was just like, okay, that's all you had to say. Was I about to press him on it? No, because literally a week ago, you just told me, oh, if you would have shot your shot sooner, this would have been a different story, smiling and all, cutting me off mid-sentence when I said, if you're not interested, roll the clip. No, it's not that. Okay, boom. So I was just like, okay. Like, because at this point, somebody lying, and it ain't me. It's not me, bro. It's not me. It's not Naimah. After this whole thing, right, I'll never forget, Mr. Mysterious posts a picture of him and Plant on his story talking about evil twin. And all I could think of in my head is how these two idiots then played me. That's how I felt in my head. I was like, oh, they friends for real. Like, they friends. Like, they close friends for real. I was like, cool. But that's all right, because God don't like ugly. Karma is real, and God don't play about me. You know, I'm feeling some type of way low-key, but I was like, it's okay, because little do you know, your evil twin, he got some explaining to do. A lot of explaining, actually, because we not about to sit here and act like he wasn't all on my body, coming in the store every day, checking for me, texting me, calling me. Naimah, are you at work? Naimah, are you here today? Running to get my food for break for me. Like, we not about to act like that wasn't a thing. Even when he wasn't even working at the store, he would literally go. I'd be like, oh, I want so-and-so. He'd be like, oh, I can go over there and get it for you. Did he do it partially because he could get free stuff because he just looked that great and he could finesse his way into some free stuff? Yes, probably. However, he definitely would go. I'm not doing that for nobody that I just see as a coworker. I'm sorry. Like, no, you could go get your own stuff. And I'm definitely not telling my coworkers like, oh yeah, if it was a week earlier, you know, da-da-da-da. Like, sir, go play in somebody else's face. So at this point, I'm side-eyeing both of them. I feel like they're both, like, scheming against me. And Mr. Mysterious, like, he is a cool person. Because I did end up, I think we ended up DMing about something. He posted something on his story, or I posted something. And we ended up, like, talking about it. Like, talking, and, like, having a real conversation. Unrelated to the whole shooting shot thing and everything. And I was like, oh, wow. Like, we, like, got deep into the conversation. However, I just felt like everything that I told him was getting relayed back to Plant, and vice versa. So I tried to avoid the topic of Plant with Mr. Mysterious, and I tried to avoid the topic of Mr. Mysterious with Plant, because I literally just didn't trust either of them. I felt like they were plotting against me and they was trying to make me look stupid, and I did not like that, because the one thing that Naimah hates is when somebody tries to make me look stupid. Like, And the fact that Plant was even trying to make me look stupid, and literally everybody could see who had eyes in my store that he liked me, was sending me. Fast forward, Plant starts calling out a lot. A little bit too much, actually. It starts getting a little ridiculous, and it's to the point where it's putting me in a bad spot with my manager, because I'm trying to cover for Plant, because I don't like throwing nobody under the bus, but like, also, bro, like, you keep calling out for your shifts, and it wasn't like he was calling out for shifts that weren't important. He was calling out for like opening shifts. Like, I need somebody with me to open the store, and who am I gonna call at 6, 7 in the morning? You're calling out at the last minute. And some of these times, like, I was nice enough to offer. I was like, hey, do you want me to just come pick you up? Because at the end of the day, guys, like, he really didn't live that far from me. Like, I was like, okay, like, you know, if you need me to come get you, I'd rather just come get you and we'd be a little late, as opposed to me having to sit here and call everybody on our freaking roster. He keeps calling out, but yet he's still, like, visiting the store and everything. Specifically this one day, I was at work. He was not working with us, like me and Happy, but he came to visit me at the store, and we were up there and we were talking, as we always were. Like, guys, I cannot tell you how many times this man came to visit me. Like, wow. If he was on the clock, not on the clock, it didn't matter. He was coming to visit me. He would come see me during his 15-minute breaks at his other job. But you just see me as a coworker. Yeah, all right. He came one day, and I'll never forget this day. We're talking to him or whatever, because I had asked him, I think, to do like another favor for me. It was something very simple, like, and honestly, I was just asking him just to ask, like, because I needed specifically a guy friend to help me with it. He was like, oh, like, I'll let you know. And in my head, I'm like, bro, I ain't got time for no I'll let you know. It's either you're gonna help me or you're not gonna help me, because if you're not gonna do it, then I need to ask somebody else. Like, it wasn't even on no romantic stuff. It wasn't even like that. Like, I was not trying to get a date with this man. Like, I was respecting the fact that he only saw me as a coworker. I wasn't pushing the issue. I was leaving it. He comes in, and you know, we're all talking, me, him, and Happy. I bring up the errand, and she's like, well, why don't you want to help her? And da-da-da. He was like, I just be busy, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, well, you know, people make time for who they want to make time for, but it's really not that big of a deal, da-da-da-da. And I'm just brushing it off like, cool, it's whatever, yada, yada, right? Happy proceeds to be like, but you need to give us a date. Like, just give her a date. I'm thinking in my head, she's talking about a calendar date. And I think he thought the same thing of when he would be available. And I was like, yeah, or you could do that, but it's fine. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, I'm just really brushing it off. And she's like, no, not like that. She was like, you need to take her on a date. Whoa, wait a minute, girl, what you doing? What you do? I did not authorize this. I didn't authorize this. So the look that came on my face, and I immediately, like, as soon as it came out her mouth, I was like, Happy, girl. Like, I was like, oh my gosh. And I could tell he was like, oh, wait a minute, a date? Like, he was just kind of like, and I feel like in his mind, he probably thought I put Happy up to asking about a date, but y'all, I really didn't. I didn't. She did that on her own. She was rooting for me, and I really appreciate it. But in that moment, we should have ran that one by each other, because I was not ready, and I could tell by the look on his face. He was like, oh, okay. And she was like, well, why don't you want to take her out? Like, she just was like really egging the issue, like going on. And I chimed in, because he just kept talking about how busy he was. I was like, honestly, I'm not going to beg for your time. I was like, and at the end of the day, people make time for who they want to make time for, but it's not that deep. I was like, and I'm not trying to ask you on a date. I was like, I just needed you to help me do a favor. Like, that's all. Like, I had to jump in and save my ass, because y'all, I was like, wait a minute, I don't want this man to think like I'm over here down bad. No. I'm not having other people ask you on a date. Like, that's not what I'm trying to do. That's not what no. Not at all. After that, like, he leaves the store. We're still talking a little bit, like, through text or whatever, but I don't really see him in person anymore. And then I think maybe like a couple weeks later, he literally sends me a text, right? So I have bad news. Doesn't reply for hours. I'm calling him, texting him, trying to figure out what's going on, because he was, once again, my opener the next day. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, is he okay? Like, what's going on? First of all, I'm just gonna be honest, don't text my phone with no spicy armpit message if you're not gonna answer when I call you. Don't do that. Don't do that. And anybody who has ever received a spicy armpit message, and I mean like a message that makes your stomach drop a little bit, like you don't know what's going on, like, hey, we need to talk. Hey, I have bad news. Hey, I have a question for you. Any one of the messages, you better answer your phone. Because what are you doing? And y'all know I'm justified in that. Y'all know I'm justified. So did I blow up that man's phone? Absolutely. Did I have shame about it at first? Absolutely did. But do I care now? Absolutely not. Because at the end of the day, don't text my phone with no crazy message like that and don't expect me to not sit there and call you and text you trying to figure out what's going on. Because that's what I did. I was like, hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? Call, no answer. Call, no answer. Okay, well, I'll just try calling you again. Like, are you okay? Like, are you calling out on me tomorrow? Like, you could have easily just liked the message, say, yeah. Didn't do that. 4 hours go by. 4 whole freaking hours. And I call him again because at this point it's getting later in the evening. And I'm like, I have to figure out if he's going to come or not. Because if not, then I once again have to figure out how to cover my ass so my manager's not mad at me. So he texted me back. He's like, oh, I actually quit. I'm not going to be able to make it tomorrow. Y'all, that was a rough night for me. I'm not even gonna lie. That was a rough night for me because he kind of pissed me off. I had a lot of other stuff going on. Did I have an opener the next day? Absolutely not. Was it on me? Absolutely. I will take full accountability for that because I was like having a spiral moment because that really actually had me heated. That was the last time I ever heard from Plant, y'all. Now this is where the story gets a little more interesting. Fast forward probably about a week or two later, I'm talking to Mr. Mysterious, which I was still very hesitant about because I was like, bro, this man is just going to sit here and report anything that I say right back to Plant. Because somehow Plant always came up in our conversations and it was making me upset. So I was treading very cautiously. And he was saying stuff. He was saying little things here and there. He had said something about Plant. I was like, well, I don't know because he's not talking to me for whatever reason. And I feel like Mr. Mysterious felt a little bit of a way that I wanted Plant and not him. So he was kind of lashing out a little bit, and I feel like I could tell because I was just like, yeah, I don't know why he's not talking to me because it just kept coming up, and I was like, well, I don't know why he stopped talking to me. I don't know, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I'm gonna tell you something, and you have to swear to me you do not tell Plant this information. And I was just like, okay, sure. And he's like, honestly, Plant told me that he just found you really annoying and that he just never really wanted to talk to you like that. He didn't really want nothing to do with you. Y'all, as soon as he started saying all this, my mouth dropped, okay? Because I was like, whoa. And that's what I told him. Like, he was going on, and I was like, whoa, wait. I was like, he found me annoying? He was like, yeah. And I was like, did he also tell you that he was in my store every day asking for me, whether I was there or not, trying to talk to me? He was like, oh, well, he just said that's what he found. I was like, did he also tell you that he invited me out a couple of times? Granted, the first one doesn't really count. And I explained the situation to him. And I explained the second one. He was like, oh, no, like, I didn't know that. I bet you didn't. Because your friend's not being honest with you about something. And I can guarantee you right now, it's about me being annoying. Because what the hell? Like, what the hell out there? Don't get me wrong. I took accountability for the times that I would have been annoying. Did I overreact a couple times? Yes. Did I freak out on him about that whole I have bad news thing and blow up that man's phone? Absolutely. Could I see how that could be annoying? Absolutely. But for you to sit here and say that I'm annoying as a whole and you don't really want to have nothing to do with me? Bro, you was in my phone every day. You was at my store every day asking about me, asking to see me, asking to speak to me. And I cannot make this up, guys. I cannot make this up. And I want you to know I can't make it up because I remember instinctively every time I used to go visit my mother, he would call me and his name would pop up on my phone and my mom would be like, oh, he must be regretting his decision of telling you that he didn't really like you like that. Every time he called, she'd be like, do you have to answer that? Do you have to answer that? So when I told her this, she was like, that don't seem right. When I told my coworkers this, that don't seem right. Because, what? So at this point, I'm really thinking that, I was like, okay, they're preying on my downfall. Like, they have to be. Like, this does not make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And I really didn't even want to talk to Mr. Mysterious after that, because I was like, bro, you just salty because I didn't want to start anything with you. This is my thought process at the time, guys. Like, this is my thought process at the time, because I know he's probably watching this like, damn, like, you was thinking all that. Yes, I was. I was like, okay, you just acting like this because I didn't want you, and you decided to tell me this, so it would hurt my feelings or whatever, da-da-da-da. And he even told me, which is what made me think that he was feeling some type of way. He was like, well, I just don't understand why you pressed about somebody who doesn't even care to speak to you. Noted. So I go a little bit of time without talking to Mr. Mysterious, obviously. And lo and behold, him and Plant are not on good terms. And I'm like, oh, you know, sorry to hear that. I didn't press the issue. I didn't want to know what happened. I didn't really care because I felt like it was probably best that we stayed away from the Plant topic. And me and Mr. Mysterious were actually able to develop an actual friendship after that once we stayed away from that topic. Now, once his feelings were out of the situation, he was able to add a little bit more context to me being oh so annoying. And he was just like, yeah, like, you know, Plant pretty much told me and a couple of our other like coworkers, he was like, yeah, he said that you wanted to go ice skating. He really didn't want to go ice skating, but like you just kept pressing the issue. And then he said that you was trying to figure out where he lived, and he was trying to be a weird, like, kind of stalker type, pretty much borderline, like, and he ain't really like that. And I'm just like, I was trying to figure out where he lives, being weird. Y'all, roll the clip. I drop him off. That was that, right? Nothing weird about it. Literally just doing it as a genuine favor, kindness out of my heart. Make it make sense, because it's not making sense. I thought I was delusional, but the fact that he thought that I was pretty much this crazy girl who was like obsessed with him because he was just so cute and I just really wanted to be with him is actually kind of wild. Mind you, after I found out all this information, guys, I ran into him, right? Because he still works in the same vicinity. I ran into him and I called his name. I was like, Plant. He didn't turn around. Plant. He turns and he's like, oh, hey, like, I didn't hear you. I was like, I bet. I didn't even tell him that I knew. I didn't. I was like, so why have you been avoiding me? Like, you've been acting real weird. He's like, oh, I just been busy. You know, I have a lot going on, da-da-da-da, this, that, and the third. And it was just so, it was like, he was like so like awkward. Like, you could tell he was like, oh my gosh, like, this is weird. And I was just thinking in my head, I was like, if only you knew what I knew. And I was so tempted to bring it up, but I chose not to, because I was like, now's not the time. It's not the time. Not yet. Not yet. Gotta let him think that we're all good. And I was like, okay. He was like, yeah, I've been meaning to stop in the store and come see you. No, you haven't, because I'm also annoying. Why would you ever do that? And he hugged me bye. And now that was the last time I actually like talked to him in person. I would see him in passing, and like, guys, when I tell you he would duck and dodge me like I was the plague, it was comical. Like, I mean, I would look over, I would see him make dead eye contact with the man. Dead eye contact. And he would be like, who you looking for, Waldo? That is the story. That was that. Pretty much, he thought that I was some delusional fangirl stalker that was trying to be all up on him. Which is crazy because, like I said, I took him home out the kindness of my heart. I literally have numerous texts and numerous phone calls from the man, literally just asking, hey, Naimah, are you at work today? I have numerous people who can tell you this man was coming into the store asking for me, and if I was not there, he was leaving. If I was there, bring me out to the floor. He wanted to talk to me. But yeah, I was annoying, y'all. I'm so annoying. He just doesn't want to be around me, doesn't want to have anything to do with me. All right. You talking to me every day, but I'm annoying. All right, that was the story, y'all. That is pretty much it. I just felt like I needed to tell this story because, like I said, he lied on me. Like, that is not the case. I don't know who all he told this situation to. I don't know who he was telling. I literally used to like feel some type of way about going into his job because I felt like everybody in there was looking at me weird. They probably were looking at me weird because he didn't sat there and told them, yeah, this girl next door, she's weird. She does all this, she does all that. But in reality, bro, you are the weird one. Like, you're sitting here painting a narrative that's not true. Like, let's not get it twisted. You're cute, but I'm cuter, okay? I am cuter than you. But no, in all seriousness, like, you're cute, but you're not that cute. Like, calm down. You got a little bit too much dip on your chip, buddy. Nobody's obsessed with you. Nobody's even trying to be in a relationship with you for real. Like, calm down. I don't care what nobody say. I will die on this hill. That man had some sort of feeling towards me. Do I think I ruined my chances when I told Mr. Mysterious the truth and I was like, yeah, I actually am interested in your friend, and I was screenshotting and sending messages back and forth? Absolutely. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Do you guys think that plant actually liked me? And you know, like, that's why he was acting the way he was acting? Or do you think that I'm literally just tripping and like he didn't have any feeling towards me at all? Like, he was just being nice. He was just, I'm sorry, y'all. I can't even come up with an alternate option here, because I just don't think, if I found somebody annoying, I'm not going to go visit them every day or call and text them every day. Like, I'm going to do everything that I can to leave them alone. Make sure you guys leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Follow me on all my social media, which is always in the description box down below. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.
I want a chick that grind on a 9 to 5. Oh, she in them college books trying to get a rise. But tonight, I'm just trying to have a good